The men who think they're advancing are the ones most trapped. These archetypes are the very patterns that keep them stuck. This is why I build men in the 6-week sprint. Archetypes broken, structure installed, and cash flow scaled. The link is in the description below. So listen, a lot of you are stuck in an archetype trap, right? You're stuck within a trap of a specific archetype that you've clung on to, and your identity currently is revolving around that archetype. So let's start with one of my favorite ones. The lone wolf builder. Listen, the amount of men that I see stuck in this trap right here is like, it's ridiculous, because it's what holds and plagues society the most, because society has allowed you to believe that it's so fucking crazy outside that you no longer want to go outside. So what do you become? A lone wolf that tries to build by himself, and your ideology or your thought process is, I'll do it my way on my terms. And more than likely you do it because you don't like the way that society's operating currently. Which is fair. Society's doing bullshit. But here you are trying to do several different fucking tasks every single day and think you're going to build something of long-term structure and worth holding a lot of cash flow. No. The majority of you are going to get stuck in this revolving wheel of trying and saying, I don't need help. Everybody get away from me. I know how to do it best. When realistically, there are things you don't know, and you're going to continue doing these things over and over and over, thinking that it's going to be on your terms while struggling. So your reality is that you mistake isolation for sovereignty. You can't just hide away from society and think that you're a sovereign man that can build whatever he wants. Absolutely not. You need isolation as a period to understand yourself, to then enter back into the world with your own internal system that you can then collaborate with other men that are in different fields that y'all can build together or extract information from together collectively, right? So what does the silent wolf become? You become a silent struggler. You sit there and you struggle late nights, grinding, thinking you're getting somewhere when realistically you're just committing movement with no momentum because you don't understand concepts and systems that you have to implement within yourself and then implement into employees that you have. Very fucking different than a man who actually understands each sector, but knows that he has to go out and connect with other like-minded men for an overall vision to execute on. You can't build alone in today's generation, and it's too easy to build together. The issue is that you've plagued your mind thinking that you can do it alone, and you've allowed society's corruption to then rot your brain in believing that nothing else works besides your way, which is absolute flaw. It's just bullshit. And you run around and you're struggling. I know there's so many of you that I DM on IG and you give me pushback about how you're going to do it alone and do it on your own terms. But yet when you log off of IG and the fucking curtains close, you're struggling at night. You still clock into a 9-to-5, or if you don't clock into a 9-to-5, you're rotting trying to fucking build a business that's not working because you have leaks. But you continue to fucking be this lone wolf and think you can do it alone. Who's up next? The eternal student. Y'all need help. So the eternal student actually is one of the biggest, you have a problem. And I think it's an illness, because what you do is you collect information, right? You sit there and you believe, I just need more information before I move. So realistically, you're scared. The reality is you're addicted to consumption because you hide from execution. Execution is not something that you do very well. You're scared of execution. You have all the knowledge. You have all the tips and tricks. You read every fucking book on a certain subject. You follow all the big influencers on a certain subject. You might even take the same concepts that you study, create your own fucking concepts, and then study your own concepts in your own brain, but never commit to executing them in the material world. These are your spiritual teachers, right? A lot of them will give you all of the spiritual activation that you need. Oh, do this journaling, do meditation, sit down and om and do all of this shit, recalibrate, but never move in the material world. Let me tell you something. You live in a material world, whether you like it or not. right? And the 7 laws of the realm are going to get you to where you want to go if you implement a goal. But what is the number one thing to move, right? The 3rd law, vibration. You have to end up moving. And if you do not move, none of that fucking abundance that you feel in your spirit or that you harbor in your mind, because what are you doing? You're an eternal student, thinking. If you never move, you will never commit to a structure. And so if you have no structure, that means no cash flow. You are in a space where you live in your mind, and you might have an elite mind, but you can't showcase it. Why? Because you don't live in the space of acting, of execution. You sit there and think you can just learn. Well, good luck to you. Another big one, the hustler, right? What you do as a hustler is that you sit there and you go after several different fucking income streams, ideas. You over execute because you believe that the more you grind equals more results. And that couldn't be further from the fucking truth, because your reality is that you're leaking into chaos. And I don't know if you were watching yesterday's or the day before's video that discussed that some of the superpowers or the loops that make successful men, is that some thrive in chaos. And this is what I'm talking about. The hustler thrives in chaos. He enters an arena, understands that the objective is to survive, and therefore he goes after every fucking tangible material thing or tries to build a structure around all of it, but never concretes it. So you're always leaking energy, because you're never compounding or leveraging. You have no leverage or compounding scenarios because you just extend yourself in several different directions. So you leak all this energy, and your structure is permeable because you never dig deep enough to understand a specific topic, a specific concept, a specific way of getting cash flow, right? To build within your life so that you can get the abundance to come at a deep level. So what you do is you just jump from place to place to place collecting money, yes, but you're leaking energy and you're going to end up burning out inevitably. Who's next? The visionary, the most delusional of them all. The visionary without forge. Your ideology is that my ideas are enough and people will see it. So what do visionaries do? They think about and understand complex concepts, and they even may start to speak about it, right? You can speak, but what is speaking doing? Speaking is doing nothing for you. You have no structure. So your reality is that you have the vision, but you have no vessel, and therefore you're delusional. These are the guys that talk a big game, will sit with you for hours on end, discussing a topic. They understand complex concepts, and they only speak about it because that's all they do. They think. And they think just because they understand it and may speak to you about it, that the world's going to revere them as a brilliant mind. Instead of actually taking that concept, bringing it into their reality, and then building a structure around it so that cash flow can come into their lives. So they sit in a delusional place in their head. And they think that everybody should see them, right? It doesn't work that way. You have to be forged. You have to go through the hardship of actually implementing the things you see in your brain to get the results that you're looking for via systems and discipline. Because systems plus discipline equals a weapon, and the weapon is a full fortified structure that can hold abundance and cash flow. Because like we said in yesterday's video, what is power? Power is money. What is status? Status is the ability to be revered as someone better than the rest, right? And what is respect? Respect is from men because we understand that the majority of men are mediocre. And so if you overcome all of these things, gain power and status, then you have to be respectable to some degree. Point blank, period. Everyone's looking at who won. We don't give a fuck about the runners up. News flash, bucko. I understand that this new generation wants to revere people and give them fucking participation trophies, right? Fuck out of here. People care about who the fuck wins at the end of the day. And what does a winner do? Execute. So if you're a visionary, you need to wake the fuck up and realize there are hurdles that you have to go after and get over. With the same visionary mindset that you have, bring it into life and get results, so that people can revere you as the brilliant visionary mind that you have by being forged. And lastly, I can't stand this, and this is who I call the bitch of them all. The settler. What do you do as a settler? Your mindset is at least you're doing better than most. And because you're doing better than most, you think that, hey, it's all good. All of these people back here, I'm better than. I'm fine. But in reality, you're benchmarking against mediocrity. Anyone who tries in today's age is better than the average. But you, in your mindset, you see the little results that you have, and then you stop. You believe that just because you're doing better than the average Joe, that, hey, it's enough, right? And like, y'all are some of the worst people because you're lazy. And that's truly what it is. You rationalize your stagnation based on the mediocrity that you've overcome. And realistically, getting over mediocre behavior is very easy. Execute on an action and on actionable steps every single day, get an outcome, and then stack. But what do? You get the actionable outcome, say that you're doing better than most, and then you stop and you quit. Or you just continue at the level because you know what it is to enter the real ocean. It's like when you swim into a fucking pool that's 5 feet deep, and because you think you can swim, that now it's like, yep, I'm done swimming because I've already proven that I can swim in a 5-foot pool. Now let's try going out into the ocean with the real killers, right? The people that actually will run laps around you and show you that your lifestyle and the way that you live is actually mediocre. How about that? Compare yourself to the people that are killing it. Not to the people that you're surpassing, that it's like the baseline. The fuck? What are you benchmarking? So you have to wake up. And if you sit in any one of these, you have to know that there is a way out for you. But you have to decide. You have to decide that you're done building off of these fucking broken and fractured archetypes that are keeping you in loops. All of these are destructive loops, right? The fucking lone wolf is going to stay lone wolf and think that he gave it his best, not seeing that he trapped himself, right? The eternal student is always going to live in his head, thinking that he must always study instead of executing. The hustler is going to give out all of his energy and wonder why he's depleted and never gain any status. And even when he does, he can't do it at a reputable, he can't speak about it on a reputable space because he's never dug deep enough, right? The visionary is delusional. You think you got it. But you've never been forged. You've never tested the theories in your mind, no matter how good they are in theory. And the settler, you're just as, you might as well just be the mediocre. You're the baseline to entrepreneurship. You're the baseline to people that want sovereignty. You're the baseline, right? You are the mediocre that the killers revere themselves up against. We try to make sure that we never become you. So the settler, like if you're a settler, wake up and understand that you actually have more potential than you realize because you've already started building, right? You have the potential, but you're mental, you block yourself off and you just don't go. You don't move because you think you've surpassed everybody. All right, Mr. Entitled, fuck ya. But listen, if you got something out of that, good. Listen, the 6-week sprint is in the description below. Apply if you're actually ready to start building something that will cash flow. So your closing decree. If you see yourself in any of these archetypes, understand this. You are the problem. You are also the weapon. Choose to stay in an illusion or forge yourself in law. Consider yourself one.